hope you all had a good Thanksgiving if you're here in the US. Mine was delightful because I didn't have to cook, because Shankar picked everything up and made our lives easier. And sometimes you just have to recognize that that is going to be the case. You need a way to reduce stress in your life. Start thinking of the practical things. Does it really make sense to add more stress to your life if you can avoid it? And I know others don't necessarily have that option, but it is certainly one that I am very grateful for. And speaking of gratitude, my name is Andrea Ferguson. We are back for the last of our series on gratitude and its role in fostering abundance. And the whole purpose of these audio rooms are to help you walk away with at least one tip, one way to reduce stress in your everyday life as an entrepreneur and a business owner, because it can get rough out there. But gratitude is very connected to abundance. And what better way to end the week, even though it's Black Friday and some of us are already at the computer or mobile thinking about what we're going to buy and what we're going to get and what we're going to have delivered. There is a time and a place for that, which is arguably now, but there's also a time and a place to recognize the things you already have, particularly in having a deep appreciation for people and for things. And I'm not one of these people that believes you should not look at the tangible things that you have, because that is very much a part of our life. We're in this world as humans living on this earth. We have physical, tangible things that we have a deep appreciation for, as well as other humans in our lives and what value they bring to it by their presence, by their love, by their devotion, and all of that to say, you can be grateful and thankful for the physical things you have in your life. It's actually, at least as I was taught, one of the things that, and who will ever really know, during the feast of the pilgrims, that they gave thanks for their physical things that they had. That's the story, the word on the street. That's what I was taught. Show of thumbs or hearts if you were also taught that they were grateful for their physical things that they had, including the food on the table and the seeds and all of the things that they learned to cultivate, et cetera, et cetera. And I have my thoughts, and there's a place for these thoughts too, which is about the origins to begin with of Thanksgiving. There's some interesting roots there. But I'm going to quickly tell you about what I have prepared for you, because during my morning meditation, and please do share this room, by the way, click the invite button or the share button and invite your network in so others can be a part of this session, this mindfulness session on gratitude as we wrap up our week. But instead of visualizing planting seeds, as I was guided to do, maybe I was a rebel, I envisioned the formation of these precious gems like rubies and diamonds and gold deep within the earth. And because I kept thinking about it, I realized I didn't need to push it outside of my head. This is where my mind, my soul, my body was taking me into this symbolic imagery, reflecting on how life's pressures can lead to growth. And I love that, because we are entrepreneurs, we are business owners, and there is significant weight that comes to the gig. Just as extreme heat and force transforms carbon into diamonds, our challenges can cultivate inner strength and wisdom. And so this ties to our series on gratitude and its role in fostering abundance, because gratitude is a recognition that life's ups and downs, including its pressures, have purpose and value. And with gratitude, we find lessons and blessings amidst all of the circumstances. And I started thinking and looking up what the science shows gratitude does, and we've been talking about this, as I said, all week. Gratitude physically changes our brain's pathways. As we focus less on the negatives and more on the positives, we release these feel-good neurotransmitters. We've talked about it, serotonin and dopamine, which boosts mood. Acetylcholine actually is something that happens when you're focusing on something that you love. You have a deep acknowledgement, appreciation, as I told you about in the study in 2017 by Keong and others, where one group focused on their mother and the love and the appreciation you have for her, and the other focused on something that made them angry. And we release that hormone, acetylcholine, which lowers the rate, our heart rate. So we can physically change our brain's pathways. We release feel-good neurotransmitters, serotonin and dopamine, boost our mood. Cortisol, the stress hormone, decreases as gratitude increases. But even beyond the brain chemicals, practicing gratitude really does enhance your resilience, relationships, your health, helps us to interpret situations in the correct way. We grow more capable of reframing adversities as opportunities, super important as business owners. And hardships become factories for producing inner diamonds, which is the reason why I allowed myself to go there. I allowed myself to envision a mine, if you will, or the Earth's crust and the different layers, even a supernova, because the intense implosion of a dying star, a supernova, is what gives birth to these new cosmic elements like gold. Gold comes from a very catastrophic thing happening, and similarly, showing gratitude during challenging transitions also unleashes growth. So this pressure is what provides the fuel for expansion. So when you face high demands and stresses or uncertainty, remember the supernova. I don't want you to be the supernova. The supernova implodes and dies, but you can be the gold that comes from that supernova. You can understand there's gold, there's things happening in your life as a result of that supernova, but you will not implode. And so ask yourself, and you haven't imploded, by the way. This is empirical evidence. You've survived 100% of your toughest, worst, roughest days. Ask yourself, what is this experience cultivating within me? Sincerely think about it. What strengths, what skills, what wisdom can I get? Can I forge from this fire? Sometimes it is a dumpster fire. But think about it, reframe the perspective. What am I getting from this? What am I learning from this? And then I know you're going to fight me on this, entrepreneurs, because you're so busy. But just try to list one thing you're grateful for from this whole situation. Maybe you appreciate a lesson or a revelation about yourself, or an opportunity. You demonstrated courage, no matter what the outcome was. Listing the things you're grateful for in a situation cultivates resilience, and it also helps you to prepare yourself for abundance. It's the precursor. Gratitude is the precursor for abundance in your life. And I'm telling you, and I understand this now, your observation, the degree of awareness that you have about everything happening in your life is directly tied to your success. It's the reason why Tony Robbins still does visualizations, why Oprah Winfrey does it. They understand it. They believe in it. They do it. It's tied. There is a connection between understanding what you're going through, both in your mind and your body. That's why a part of my mantra for breathe, observe, scan your body, sense of joy, scan your body, be observant of what's happening. The gut actually has a heart and a brain, and it can sense things even before you can. And there's so much science behind it. We're even starting to care so much more about the microbiome than we ever have before in the history of mankind understanding. There's all kinds of ways that we can be aware, and that awareness is directly correlated to your abundance. So finding gratitude in hardship reconciles distressing emotions like anger, disappointment, sadness, and you extract gems from the rubble. Your world feels less crushing and more hopeful. And don't you know that's the secret to success? Because how hard is it? I mean, you think about the pressure that is necessary to form diamonds and gold, all of the process that happens. Gold is a super complex process, occurs deep in the Earth's crust and mantle over millions of years. There's this thing called supernova nucleosynthesis. So gold is believed to be formed in the universe by the process of supernova nucleosynthesis. This happens when a star explodes, creates extreme temperatures and pressures necessary for gold to form. But then there's a deposit into the Earth's crust. After its formation in space, I find this fascinating. I studied stars in college. It was one of the best courses that I took. If I actually knew that I wanted to have a job as an astrophysicist or do something, I would have continued on. But after a while, I had all of these extra credits that weren't going anywhere. But I loved staring up at the stars, imagining the rotational velocity, determining its color. Blue is actually a hot star. Red is cold. Thinking of anyway. So you can see where I'm going. I love stars. I love space. I love supernovas. I love the idea of what happens on our Earth. Gold is deposited onto Earth during its formation. And over time, it becomes concentrated in the Earth's crust. And when inside of the Earth, within the Earth, the gold is often dissolved in hot fluids, and then the fluids move through the cracks and the fissures in the Earth's crust. They cool down, and the gold begins to precipitate out. Then the gold is deposited in veins with other minerals and quartz. And then there's tectonic plates that collide, and there is pressure, but it is necessary pressure and heat to form gold deposits. And there's also, the erosion from rock and transportation by water. There's a process, a systematic process, a geological process that includes erosion and plate tectonics concentrated, and that's what forms gold. That's just gold. There's also rubies. There's diamonds. Did you know the rarest and most valuable of diamonds are red diamonds? Did you even know that there are red diamonds? So all of this to say the rarest mineral, rarest jewel, rarest metal, and they're each used for different things. They're all sought after for different reasons. I think there's something like 10 red diamonds on Earth or something crazy. And so that's not even tangible to most of us. It's just by collectors and investors. And then we are all familiar with white diamonds. They're the 4 C's, the cut, the color, the clarity, the carat, and the flawless, colorless diamond are among the most valuable. There's black diamonds, and I won't continue to go on and make this all about astrology and geology. But I say all that because we love these things. We see them as prized possessions. Whether it's an engagement ring or a family heirloom, we care so much about these gems and stones and minerals in our lives. But you have to appreciate the process that they went through for them to show up on your jewelry or in your, however you use them, even just to admire them. Everyone admires a diamond, beautiful ruby, jade, some stone. We love the way it sparkles and glimmers. It's beautiful. And not all diamonds are rare. Red diamonds are, but the point is, maybe you too can appreciate what's happened in your life, what you've gone through. You can't change your story, but you can reframe it. What can I learn here? How can this help me grow? What in this am I grateful for? And when you do that, you build your gratitude muscle. We'll call it grateful reframing. And whenever you face difficulties, just pause, reframe the narrative with gratitude. Ask yourself those questions. Because reframing stresses as catalyst for self-actualization stops the domino effect before the heavy compounding and the tension becomes unsurmountable. But you become the master mineralogist, unearthing the gems from the rocky terrains. And just use this strategy in your next challenge. And over time, you transform life's coal into diamonds, base metals into gold. And even if you do become a supernova, you're collapsing, but you're also creating, and there are beautiful things. There is beauty in destruction from explosions. Now, I would elect not to be the supernova. I don't want to collapse. But if it has happened, what you are, you don't have to be ashamed of it. You can be very proud of it because you're still standing. You're still running your business. And that takes a lot of guts and courage. So I invite you to continue cultivating gratitude every single day. And cherish all of the things that you've gone through, not because they were hard, but because they helped mold you and create you to be the person that you are today. And yes, be grateful for all of the things that you have. But also be grateful that you know to shift your perspective. And that's going to trigger abundance in your life. I promise you that. Transformation under pressure. Release of energy. Creating new elements like gold dust and beauty and destruction. Those are the things I hope you remember today. And then, of course, who would I be without giving you an opportunity to take all of those things that you've learned, without offering you an opportunity to show how you've thrived under pressure just by showing up. Leverage your platform, leverage LinkedIn. We have a challenge happening Tuesday, December 19th, 8 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, hosted by Shankar and Shanae Moray. And I invite you to go to yougrow.club so that you can have an opportunity to transform again by showing up. Remember, pressure creates diamonds and gold. And when you give up, I mean, millions, right? Millions of years of creation. When you give up, you don't get that diamond. You don't get that gold. You don't get that ruby. You don't get that jade. There's something beautiful that happens by staying connected, by continuing to learn, by connecting with like-minded entrepreneurs, by learning from people who've already done it. So I encourage you to show up. But we still have a little bit of time, Shankar, if you want to open your mic and add something. If not, that's okay. I will move on to our affirmations.
Gold. Um, I'm thinking a lot about, and this might take us slightly in a different turn, but stay with me. I'm thinking a lot about what is valuable to us in life. And of course, stars and diamonds and gold is valuable, right? Because they're rare. And the reason I'm thinking about a rarity these days is because my Bitcoin is doing so well, and people ask me all the time, well, how does that even work? Well, Bitcoin is rare. It's digitally rare, right? Anyway, well, then, if we value rarity so much in items such as diamonds and gold and stars, and even in digital currency, then we have to be striving after turning ourselves into something that is rare, right? How can we cultivate something within us that is rare when we compare ourselves to the masses? Do we even want that? And why should we want it? And again, you know me by now, I look through everything with the lens of an entrepreneur, of someone who creates value in life and for the world in exchange for money. That's what an entrepreneur does. So I want to encourage myself and everyone to cultivate those rare elements within us, whatever they may be. We have to want to not conform with the masses all the time, because that is the exact opposite of rarity, right? What is something within us that we cherish, that is rare, and that we can cultivate even more, that we can grow in even more? Which maybe also is a synonym for the idea of the path less traveled, the way of doing things not everybody does them. And I am very grateful, since we are talking about that, that Andrea and I have chosen the path less traveled. Anyone, by the way, who is in this room right now should be very proud of themselves, because they chose to be rare this morning. Most people will not be in a LinkedIn room this morning. So kudos to you for being here with us. Thank you, Andrea.
Well, the awesome thing about that is, these rare things, these minerals and jewels and metals, they have such a process that they go through, and it's consistent. It's not like there's heat and pressure and then it stops and then it goes, and it's like constant. And I think that is one of the things that I appreciate and am deeply grateful for in you. And I've said this yesterday. Yesterday was more of a kind of a fun Thanksgiving chat, but that consistency. And so I agree, for you to be here today in this audio room with us, showing up consistently, just speaks to your understanding of it and your desire to learn and grow and be mindful more than anything else. And one day Shankar and I will have to talk about how, your family and friends can kind of sabotage you because you want to be consistent at something that you love, like growing your business, for example, and people keep telling you not to focus on, be balanced and put everything everywhere. But anyway, it's a conversation for another day. And thank you for your addition, Shankar. I was just thinking about that, how rare, yes, it is that people have shown up, but it's because they set their mind to it and choose to be consistent in that way. And that is very grateful for that. Anything else to add before I go into these affirmations?
No, I mean, Kathy has raised her hand for a while. I don't know if you want to bring her up. Yeah.
It's not letting me.
Oh, okay. Well, I have nothing else. We can go into affirmations.
All right. Well, take a deep breath. And repeat after me. I am enough. I accept and love myself just as I am. I radiate joy, health, and well-being. I move through challenges with courage and grace. My mind and body are calm, at peace, and centered. I welcome positive experiences into my life. I have the power to create the life I desire. My confidence and self-belief grow stronger every day. I am open and receptive to wonderful opportunities. I release worry and anxiety. I trust in my abilities. I nourish my mind, body, and spirit. As you remain in a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed, taking a few deep breaths, bring your awareness inward. See yourself in a forest with the sun shining down between the trees. Smell the fresh earth, the forest air, hear the birds singing. And as you continue to walk, you come across a peaceful clearing and a few beams of light shining down. In the center of the clearing, see a version of yourself, standing, looking radiant, healthy, and full of energy, smiling with confidence, joy, and calm. Now notice how the light grows bright, brighter and brighter. Begin to merge and become one with this vision, integrating all of these positive qualities, being grounded and content and self-assured into every cell of your being. Know that you carry this inner light with you every moment. You are whole and serene and radiant. Gently open your eyes. Thank you for this time. Bring yourself back to this time. And we'll see you on Monday, 7 a.m. Thank you for spending time with us. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Be mindful, and we'll see you next week.